This episode contains sexual explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Music Media Review, critiquing modern headlines about music and media. I'm Jess, extremely excited to celebrate this episode's theme with you all. My favorite singer, Janet Jackson, turns 60, and she's got so much going on for herself now. New fans are discovering her music after she opted out of Michael Jackson's current biopic, Michael. The Jackson family threw her a huge birthday party a few weeks early and received a Grammy Hall of Fame induction May 8th. I've contemplated which format to honor Janet's music and chose 3 ways. A top 10 containing favorites from the first half of her career, 1986 to 2001, listed tracks I enjoy marking the second half, 2004 to 2018, and some extras in the episode description. I've always adored Janet Jackson's dancing, vocals, and creating different ambiances suiting themes just right. About 20 years ago, when iPods were acclimating our digital devices, she had the most songs I sorted under an individual singer, claiming my utmost fanaticism ever since. On a special escapade, anytime, any place, let's take control, diving this Janet Jackson Top 10 Hits Countdown. Number 10, Runaway. Compilations tend to come out when an artist needs a little boost to regain momentum. Design of a Decade was the opposite. Pursuing music outside of her brother's and father's thumbs, Janet Jackson trailed a separate identity altogether. This decade timeframes 1986's album Control, 1989's Rhythmnation 1814, and 1993's Janet. I was born end of the 80s, so I wasn't aware of 1982's Janet Jackson and 1984's Dream Street until my iPod rediscovery days. If you were to go back to those 2 disco albums, there's no way you'd believe the transformation exploding each album to 2015. That stamped my approval forever. Runaway opens Design of a Decade's tracklist, gratefully documenting exotic places Janet toured internationally. Humbling, sinking it all in, she virtually invites fans as a thank you, confidently continuing the good times ahead. 2 concerts I've seen her was 2011's Number Ones tour at Radio City Music Hall and 2018's Panorama Festival at Randall's Island in Harlem. A Panorama attendee made an outfit like Janet's Runaway video. She was starstruck I recognized it and allowed me to take a photo. I'll share that later on Music Media Review's social media follow-up post. Runaway's music video shows Janet jumping out a window, flying around landscapes to dance with natives, safely lands back home to her cat. The epic part Runaway includes is Janet correcting herself near the end. Her voice cracked repeating, and I just know we'll have a good time. Time's note was low, so she ad-libbed, "Ooh, didn't quite hit the note. That wasn't such a good time." Leaving that error in on the final version and video, genuinely humorous and adorable. 24 closes Design of a Decade in a bluesy R&B groove. Runaway sets everything in motion. In 1995, it charted number 8 Dance Club Songs, number 7 Adult Contemporary, Adult Top 40 Radio, number 6 Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs, number 3 on the Hot 100, Rhythmic Radio, and number 2 Top 40 Radio. Mariah Carey's Fantasy blocked it being number 1. Right on Janet's birthday recently, I was trying on a new purchase in a fitting room. Soon as I unlocked the door to leave, Runaway came on the stereo. Tell me that's not fate. I sang it all the way back to my car. Number 9, Again. Acting was an unexpected skill Janet acquired along her brothers. She tagged along on variety shows The Jackson 5 would appear in the 70s and took a liking to it into the 80s. Good Times, A New Kind of Family, Different Strokes, and Fame. I need to watch those back sometime. Late writer-director John Singleton pulled off 1991 urban crime film Boys in the Hood and came up with the second one, 1993. Poetic Justice story arcs a female perspective and the relationships around her life. Seeing the impact Spike Lee did in movies and hip-hop was hardcore expressing in rap. John wanted to mix both, casting celebrity musicians. Janet Jackson portrayed Justice, Tupacshakur as Lucky, Tone Loc being Lucky's sidekick, Bone, Q-Tip briefly starring as Justice's boyfriend, Markel, and 90s R&B vocalist Keith Washington played one of the hairstylists named Dexter. Another non-musician legend had a key role too, poet Maya Angelou. Every poem Janet's character recites was written by Maya, and she cameos at a family reunion picnic scene. VH1 occasionally televises an edited version of Poetic Justice. I learned on former sister channel VH1 Soul how notorious it was for a debut artist on the soundtrack, Usher. Call Me a Mac introduced Usher Raymond swaying a girl to come his way in his puberty tenor voice and rapped bridge. You gotta see it. Smooth talker even then. Tupac features definition of a thug N-word. I also like Cultural Revolutions, Night and Day, and Stevie Wonder's 1971 ballad, Never Dream You Leave in Summer. Against off 1993's Janet record, never intended to be tied to Poetic Justice or the lead character. Must have been a last-minute decision to add because it's not on the soundtrack or presented in the music video. The closing credits faded out and an instrumental cut when Justice confides her background to Lucky at the beach and they hook up. Piano driven by producer Jimmy Jam, James Harris III, Janet laments running into an ex and trying to fight back old feelings. I like the flute stringiness to symbolize the love story. Probably the mellowest pop ballad in Janet Jackson's catalog. How can I be strong? I asked myself time and time. I've said that I'll never fall in love with you again. Nominated the Oscars Best Original Song and ASCAP Awards R&B Music winner, again charted number 7 Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs, number 4 Adult Contemporary, number 3 Rhythmic Radio, and number 1 on the Hot 100 for 2 weeks. Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia triumphed 1994's Best Original Song Academy Award. 2 other films Janet acted and sang were 2000's Doesn't Really Matter from Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, and 2010's Nothing for Why Did I Get Married 2. Doesn't Really Matter debuted number 1 on the Hot 100. Nothing's melody sounds like again in the pre-chorus and charted a number 1 iTunes video performance at American Idol's finale. Number 8, When I Think of You. Janet Demita Jo Jackson was born May 16, 1966 in Gary, Indiana. As Michael Jackson's solo career soared greater than the Jackson 5, Joe Jackson enlisted his youngest daughter into the music business. A&M Records signed a 1982 contract formatting background singers guiding high school graduate Janet. Disco couldn't compete MTV's rock-pop craze, and Janet wasn't enjoying the experience. Breaking the cycle watching her brothers trapped on their dad's constant control, Janet took drastic actions, eloped with El DeBarge member James DeBarge in 1984, annulled the marriage a year later due to his drug addiction, and fired Joe professionally. Going to A&M CEO John McClain, she pitched ideas and he became her new manager. Pairing Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis from Prince's produced group The Time, the trio formed synthesized R&B dance fusion. Following Prince and Michael Jackson's MTV success, Control achieved 6 epic music videos, 7 out of the 9 single tracks, spanning 2 years, entering Janet's 20s. What Have You Done For Me Lately? Nasty. When I Think of You. Control. Let's Wait a While. The Pleasure Principle. And Funny How Time Flies When You're Having Fun. On Cardi B's 2025 album, Am I the Drama? On My Back samples Funny How Time Flies When You're Having Fun and Principle interpolating the pleasure principle, spelling the homonym. Out of all the songs to choose, When I Think of You is Janet Jackson's first number 1. Segueing against piano prior, pitcher faster, and sporadic horn riffs signifying adrenaline love. What a change having the background singers rhythmically assist and giving room for Janet finding her adult voice. I love how joyful it is. Hearing her laugh at the end, parading around the neighborhood set in the video, brightens everything. The Grammys nominated Control Album of the Year. Paul Simon's Graceland won, but A&M's new team split Producer of the Year non-classicals win. Control's one of the 80s highlights guaranteed. Always admired Janet's courage and conception. Its third 1986 single charted number 10 adult contemporary, number 3 Hot Black Singles, number 1 on the Hot 100 for 2 weeks, and Dance Club Play for 3 weeks. Number 7. Anytime, Anyplace. Fresh off Poetic Justice and 2 successful albums, Janet's self-esteem felt sensual. In the best shape, a steady relationship appropriated a marketable signature, except an inappropriate cover artwork. Sepia filtered, a curly-haired Janet's holding her hands behind her head on the front, bare-armed and below neck, back covers unzipped jeans assumed to be around her waist. Rolling Stone publicly published a censored full shot for September's 1993 cover story issue, 4 months after the successful album release. A pair of hands censored Janet's boobs, consensually done by her quote-unquote boyfriend, Rene Elizondo Jr. I'll elaborate when I'm insinuating next break. Anytime, Anyplace realistically reflects romanticizing a 7-minute jazzy R&B experience. Whatever that clicking effect in the song is, I always thought of it like kissing. Janet seductively moaned in Funny How Time Flies When You're Having Fun, Someday Is Tonight, ending Rhythmnation 1814, Anytime, Anyplace, illuminates up to the thunderstorm outro. The music video has Janet peering at her hallway apartment neighbor unlocking his door, fantasizing their encounter. Guilty pleasure, every sense. Kendrick Lamar looped Anytime, Anyplace's opening line in 2013 rap, Poetic Justice, and I immediately compared Doja Cat's Agora Hills borrowing the PDA, Public Display of Affection, from 2023. She sings, kissing and hope they caught us. Whether they like it or not, I want to show you off. I want to show you off. I want to brag about it. I want to tie the knot. I want to show you off. I want to show you off. I want to show you. Hold my hand. You can hit it while they watch, boy. Janet says, I don't want to stop just because people looking around are watching us. I don't give a damn what they think. I want you now. I don't want to stop just because you feel so good inside of my love. I don't want to stop. No, no, no. I want you now. All I want to say is, anytime and any place, I don't care who's around. A dream collaboration would be Doja and Janet. Imagine they're dancing and composing together. I also recommend The Body Who Loves You, a new age sexy track on Janet, and 1994's Janet remixed album. Between 1993 to 1994, Anytime, Anyplace charted number 34 adult contemporary, I'm assuming at night, Number 2 on the Hot 100, beneath All for One's I Swear, and number 1 Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs for 10 weeks. Number 6, Someone to Call My Lover. Rene Elizondo Jr. met Janet Jackson in 1987 through a mutual friend. He directed films and some of his wife's videos. That's the Way Love Goes, Again, and Together Again, Deeper Remix. I don't know how this never leaked out, but Rene and Janet's 1991 elopement was a secret until he filed divorce in 2000. The Jacksons were raised Jehovah's Witnesses, so unless someone was paid to keep quiet officiating, nobody knew about this marriage, not even their friends or family. Rene walks with Janet around Paris in 1999's music video Come Back to Me and cameoed as one of the mailmen Tupac works with in Poetic Justice. She disclosed in her 2022 self-titled documentary that Rene got addicted to painkillers and became domineering over his wife's looks. He's been remarried in 2010 to Britt Coelho, and they had a daughter year after. Lyrically more graphic than 1993's Janet, 2001's All For You sequeled a sexualized concept album. Someone to Call My Lover's a favorite amongst my girlfriends and fans, singing happily single, ready to mingle. Fans also admire the guitar sample taken from America's 1972 folk ballad, Ventura Highway. That was Jimmy Jam's idea, coming a year after Destiny's Child lifted Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17, 1981 guitar lick on Bootylicious. Grammy-winning rapper Doechii quoted Someone to Call My Lover's lyrics on X last year, and Janet replied, finishing the line. Following up the viral post, Janet Jackson posted a personal video March 27, 2025, crediting an interpolated melody also on the track, 1890's Gymnopédie by classical composer Erik Satie. Recollecting a childhood commercial advertising Dove, then hearing the song in a store much later, Janet snuck the chords in the hopeful chorus whenever she says the song title. Talk about destiny, Gymnopédie followed again, playing on a toy hedgehog Janet bought her son, and her grandnephew learned it on the piano as a sweet gesture to them both. Honestly, it fulfills Janet as motherhood does. Isa was born 2017, partnered with third ex-husband Wissam El-Mana, whom she married 2012 to 2017. Someone to Call My Lover's effortlessly sung true. My tiny criticism is the last half's repetitive singing the chorus. Nominated Best Female Pop Vocal Performance at 2002's Grammys, Someone to Call My Lover charted number 29 Adult Contemporary, number 11 Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs, number 3 on the Hot 100, and number 1 Dance Club Songs. Nelly Furtado's I'm Like a Bird beat the Grammy nod. Number 5, Together Again. 1997's The Velvet Rope is Janet's favorite album. The way Rhythmnation 1814 tackled political outcry, The Velvet Rope unlocks uneasy topics society condemned talking publicly: equal rights, domestic violence, depression, and sexual exploration. Sonically, the production fit in 90s R&B, rock, and pop. The 70s are revisited, covering Rod Stewart's 1977 hit Tonight's the Night, my favorite from him. Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi overtakes Got Till It's Gone, hip-hop scratching with Q-Tip, post-Poetic Justice reunion. Go Deep and Together Again, Dance Up a Storm. Every Time and I Get Lonely solemnly deals infatuation anxiety. What About fights back tender verses and hardcore confrontation closely resembling Michael Jackson angst he sing. I should listen back to Velvet Rope, gets tucked away compared to Janet's other stuff. Together Again's upbeat tempo relieves sadness Janet faced behind her velvet rope reputation. A close friend succumbed to AIDS, she received fan mail from an England boy who lost his father, and let's not forget, Tupac was murdered 1996. I'm sure that had a huge effect. I beam hearing Together Again's harp, keyboard riffs, and drum beats believing a higher power lives on through loving memories. I love the intro's slow delivery and sped up to kickstart the first verse. There are times when I look above and beyond. There are times when I feel your love around me, baby. I'll never forget my baby. I'll never forget you. The chorus is, dream about us together again. What I want, us together again, baby. I know we'll be together again, 'cause everywhere I go, every smile I see, I know you are there smiling back at me. Dancing in moonlight, I know you are free, 'cause I can see your star shining down on me. Together again, ooh, good times we'll share again. Together again, ooh, makes me want to dance. Together again, ooh, say it loud and proud. Together again, ooh, all my love's for you. I own 2 DVDs showcasing Janet's videos, Design of a Decade and From Janet to Demita Joe, which is 2004's album she promoted during that infamous wardrobe malfunction halftime show. Anyway, I bring it up because I saw Together Again Deeper remix and loved the romantic theme flip. Slowing down the tempo and sung a lower octave, one of the few remixes I equally rate with an original. I've listed both on the countdown. Streaming sites added the remix as a Velvet Rope bonus track. I added from the digital single version mixes. Let me know your thoughts of both. Between 1997 to 1998, Together Again charted number 29 Adult Top 40 Radio, number 8 Rhythmic Radio, number 5 Top 40 Radio, number 1 Dance Club Songs, and the Hot 100 for 2 weeks. Number 4, Nasty. A huge advantage why Control's phenomenon happened, it wasn't recorded in Detroit or LA like her brothers did. Flytime Studios was in Edina, Minnesota, near Minneapolis. That's why Janet shouts out the city in Escapade's Bridge on Rhythmnation 1814. Janet used to walk to record from a hotel room. The hit-on remarks guys would say made her so uncomfortable, especially calling her baby unattractively. She told Jimmy and Terry, supporting a feminine stance to set them straight. Building up a tough sound, drums and synthesizers slammed so hard, symbolizing fighting. I can't help air conducting the rhythms. It's fantastic. Morally speaking, I'd equate it to Michael Jackson's Beat It. Having no use for nasty boys, Janet Jackson epically brands independence in Nasty's Bridge. I'm not a prude. No, I just want some respect. That's right. So close the door if you want me to respond. 'Cause privacy is my middle name. My last name is Control. No, my first name ain't Baby. It's Janet. Miss Jackson if you're nasty. You can thank Paulaabdul choreographing the dance moves young Janet does in the music video, accompanying her in the movie theater, and What Have You Done For Me Lately's video cafe. 10 years ago, Nasty went viral after Donald Trump debated Hillary Clinton. When he interrupted saying such a nasty woman, Spotify reported 250% stream increase. Rightfully, Janet kept quiet, letting her lyrics do the talking. American Music Awards named it Favorite Soul R&B Single and ranked number 5 on VH1's 100 Greatest Songs of the 80s in 2006. Exactly 40 years ago, Nasty charted number 6 Dance Singles Sales, number 3 on the Hot 100, number 2 Dance Club Songs, and number 1 Hot Black Singles for 2 weeks. Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer surpassed Nasty on Dance Club Songs. Number 3, That's the Way Love Goes. Offering $40 million in 1992, Richard Branson invested a Virgin record contract for Janet Jackson. He posted an anniversary post on his Instagram, photographed on a hot air balloon ride he took her to meet and accept the deal. May 18th's caption reads, "On this day in 1993, Janet Jackson released her iconic album, Janet, through Virgin Records. Everyone wanted to sign Janet, and I knew I would have to put out all the stops to sign her. I convinced Janet to join me on a hot air balloon ride, which sweetened the deal, but I knew in the end her managers would make it all about the upfront money. Throughout my business life, I have always tried to keep on top of costs and protect the downside risk as much as possible. This was a rare exception, for I knew it would cement us as the hottest label on the planet. After talking with Simon and Ken, I decided to offer Janet the largest amount of money ever to be offered to any singer. On top of this, I decided to break all the rules of the record industry. Rather than tying her down for a number of future albums, Virgin would offer a contract for just one album. Thankfully, the risk was worth it. Janet loved Virgin and remained signed to us for 17 years, a period in which she released 5 top-selling albums, including Janet, which sold more than 20 million copies worldwide. Ironically, Virgin is not the word coming to mind for Janet's content, but when you play That's the Way Love Goes' flirty groove, you'll be blown away as everyone else was in 1993. Meshing a seductive haiku to That's the Way Love Goes' title hypnotizes a mystical aura getting in the mood. Like a moth to a flame, burned by the fire, my love is blind. Can't you see my desire? Madonna led this movement, speaking 1991's Justify My Love, 1992's Erotica album, and a sex memoir. Saturday Night Live ruined me parodying Justify My Love with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey spoofing Wayne's World's duo Wayne and Garth. Janet pokes fun in That's the Way Love Goes video. She's shy sharing the demo, and Jennifer Lopez plays a friend swiping the cassette from her hand to play in the stereo system. They all dance in the apartment space, swaying the beats. Jennifer had a breakout moment on the Wayans Brothers sketch comedy show In Living Color, which starred in Selena Quintanilla's 1997 memorial biopic, Selena, and wound up developing her own music career, 1999. Lots of history tied to That's the Way Love Goes and is considered Janet Jackson's biggest hit. Named Billboard Music Awards Top R&B Single, Best R&B Song at 1994's Grammys, and American Music Awards Favorite Soul R&B Single. Statistically charted number 16 Adult Contemporary, number 1 Dance Club Songs in R&B 4 weeks, and the Hot 100 for 8 weeks. Number 2, All For You. The photo I chose for this episode cover is an All For You's album booklet. Janet looks so beautiful and happy, may be my favorite look of hers. She was 35 and many bloggers are remembering its release. Singing the title track around my 12-year-old classmates wasn't a smart idea deciphering her chant, though my gym teachers mixed a minute workout tape for an obstacle course routine we do and included All For You. Radio stations limit the graphic chorus in the intro and leave it one stanza to fade out in the edit version. Come On Get Up's a great track to try too. Across the board, 2001 commemorated high accolades feeding off the energy. Billboard Music Awards top-selling R&B hip-hop single, Rolling Stone's favorite album cover, Essence Awards Entertainer of the Year, given a Best Dance Recording Grammy, Teen Choice Best Single, and Album. The color animation dancing on the train platform was cool CGI for its time. Surprisingly, Janet never heard the Luthervandross sample tune. Jimmy Jam showed her 1980's The Glow of Love by R&B group Change, riffing whenever allforyou's words are sung. I'm sure Luther was honored, and another shared technique done by Kendrick Lamar. His Grammy-winning duet Luther with SZA emulated 1982's If This World Were Mine. All For You remains a classic title track, flaunting an attractive guided dance, and if things go well, spend the night together. Charted number 28 Adult Top 40 Radio, number 1 Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs for 2 weeks, Top 40 and Dance Club Songs for 3, and Hot 100 for 7. My number 1 choice was just inducted in the Grammy Hall of Fame, caused an AI computer outage in 2022, and I was just interviewed on UK podcast Pick a Disc, bragging the life-changing album it's from. Topping number 1 on our Janet Jackson Top 10 Hits playlist is Rhythmnation. To go from Control's high streak to addressing societal issues through dance, music wasn't an art to Janet. It was an important voice, as Nasty meant personally. Control's road crew watched CNN while traveling and were horrified over the violent occurrences reported. Worse than that, children's safety and innocence were compromised. Brought up in a big close family, Janet couldn't sit back and based a majority towards Rhythmnation 1814's concept. 2018's State of the World Tour concluded Janet singing that Rhythmnation track, which is just as strong. Drugs and crime spreading on the street. People can't find enough to eat. Now our kids can't go out and play. That's the state of the world today. Dressed in black military attire in Rhythmnation's video and cover, Serious Janet urged civilians to make the difference as one. The year 1814 was when the Star-Spangled Banner was composed and coincidentally has numerology meaning. In the American alphabet, N is the 14th letter, R is the 18th. Among countless achievements, Rhythmnation won an MTV Video Vanguard at the VMAs, Best Long-Form Video at the Grammys, accumulated multiple awards for its 8 singles spanning over 3 years. Miss You Much, Rhythmnation, Escapade, All Right, Come Back to Me, Black Cat, Love Will Never Do Without You, and State of the World. If you owned a Microsoft computer during September 2022, a blue screen glitch if trying to play Rhythmnation. Its high-pitched E-note bassline triggered a global shutdown, causing Microsoft reprogramming an audio filter to repair. Isn't that insane? Australian radio station KIIS tested on video how rapid the technical difficulty clicked. Janet commented 2 blushing emojis and a monkey covering its eyes. To finish out, I like to read the acceptance speech she said at May 8th's Grammy Hall of Fame ceremony. I'm so grateful and honored that Rhythmnation is being recognized tonight in this wonderful, wonderful way. It's beautiful to relive the memories attached to this project that's so precious to me tonight. Rhythmnation still resonates on a deep and profound level. It's an ongoing force that fights bigotry and promotes understanding. It cannot be stopped. It's simply too strong, too positive. Rhythmnation is a movement of people of all ages and backgrounds, seeking to give and receive love free of judgment. As we celebrate tonight, let's remember that it transcends all borders, nationalities, and faiths. I hope you hear my heart's desire when we first created this suite of songs. More than ever, my hope is that we might live in a world free of fear and despair. The prayer driving this remains exactly the same, that peace prevails. Peace the world over. Peace among nations. Peace in our neighborhoods. Peace in our homes. May the music of Rhythmnation continue to bring us together in peace, and may that peace allow us to celebrate this precious gift of life that God has given us all. Between 1989 to 1990, this signature title track charted number 2 on the Hot 100, number 1 Hot Black Singles and Dance Club Play for 3 weeks. Phil Collins's Another Day in Paradise hovered the Hot 100 spot, spreading the same well wishes, helping the underprivileged. Janet Jackson, happy birthday, and until we get more music, your Sunday inspirational quotes on X are as lovely as you are. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. I hope my fandom entertained a sliver of Janet Jackson's talent for you in a new light. I'm always looking to discuss her with fans. Reach out to musicmediareviewpodcast@gmail.com. Comment on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Please rate and review after listening. I'm Jess. Next episode we'll review Casey Musgrave's latest album, Middle of Nowhere. Talk to you next week.